Hey everybody, how we doing today? Beautiful day here in the Florida Keys, and we are going to do some all about the bait testing. Bam! New lures there, and some QS kayak fishing testing. Got the new 6 horsepower rebuilt outboard on the red kayak. I went ahead and changed the block. This block here prevents the motor from sliding off the side, which is perfect. I kind of guessed on it, but I guessed perfectly because it gives me full turning radius and just doesn't hit the kayak there. I think it would actually go underneath it, but that's as far as it turns. My main concern was the prop hitting. But there you go. So that guy is up there. I'm going to do some more hours on it, more braking time, and then I'm actually going to tear this motor apart and replace the head with the new one I just rebuilt, as well as doing a full series of Suzuki 6 horsepower fixed it DIY videos. So change the head, how to rebuild the carb, how to rebuild the head, the pull starter, all that stuff, just like I did on my 2.5. But otherwise today we are just going to go around and put some hours, test some lures, and have some fun. There we go, one pull, one start. Still got to work on that balancing act though if I'm going to use this motor, but this is a good start. All right, we're going to head out to the Atlantic side, play around out there. Pretty calm day, perfect day to fish the bridges. Here we are, the Atlantic Ocean. Do a little bit of trash collection. And off we go. Motor be running smooth. Make sure my hatch is closed. All right, we have come upon a problem. Big problems. Motor runs great, starts up right away, idles great, runs great. The only thing I had with it is it ran out of gas, but filled it up, fired right up, and it's been working perfectly. However, the problem, I heard a pop as we were going, and it's something that I was worried about. There's actually 2 issues I was concerned about, and both of them are turning up to be a pretty major issue. The first one, which hasn't done anything, but I'm worried about it, is this motor mount I designed to sit straight perpendicular from the motor mount here. So it should be straight. Right now it's leaning back. And the reason why is on the bottom of these PVCs that go into the plastic rod holders of the kayak, I built them to run bar stool rubber feet on the ends of them. But they keep falling off whenever I take the mounts and off and move them around. So I just eventually just leave them off. But it allows a little bit of a gap. With the small motor, it doesn't make a difference, but with this big motor sitting on it, it pushes it all the way down, and it's causing this to lean back. And once it starts leaning, then it's putting a lot of extra pressure diagonally, which I don't want. I just want it straight up perpendicular. I was thinking that it wouldn't be an issue because the torque of the motor pushing forward would keep constant pressure going forward and might even straighten it out, but I'm not pushing enough weight to do that, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But the bigger problem was I was running out here and I heard a pop, and I thought it was this board splitting because I've got it so weighted over to one side that it's angled and it's really heavy. So but when I noticed what happened is this broke off. These are my hold downs for the motor mount there. So this is the correct way. It basically bolts to the motor mount and then bolts down to this pad eye on the kayak. Problem though is they're just made out of just plastic, and it popped this one here. I can see it there, but it just snapped it. And the reason why is because of that weight leaning over one side, it's pulling up on this side, and it's supposed to be just to keep them together, but not with that much extra weight. So it broke it. Now it's leaning up there, and you can see how much it's popping out. And I have to be very careful that if it went all the way, not only the motor would fall in, but my motor mount and all my Esky rods and reels and stuff would go with it. So that would be a bad thing. So what I was thinking about last night, and I should have done, was just to run a strap between here and the cross member. And that would have resolved that. Just permanently clamp those so I wouldn't have to rely on this plastic piece as holding my motor mount down. With the little 2.5 horsepower, which it's so light, half the weight, it doesn't make a difference. But when you got this much hanging all the way off the edge there, yeah, that's a problem. And the only reason why I think it hasn't just flipped over is because I built it right above the cross members here for the outriggers. So it sits on that, or it's actually sitting on my pole right now, which is fine. So it's not going anywhere, but yeah, that's not good. I need to clamp that down, put the pad eye back, and then we'll be good. So I think we got to head back in nice and slow. All right, looking like no fishing because I was needing to do trolling for my new lures. This is a new category of lures that I'm going to be releasing, but guess we can't do that. But no worries, I've actually got one more design that I should be receiving this next week, so that way I'll be able to release all of them at once. So not a problem, but let's head on back, and hopefully I don't drop this motor into the water, break my motor mount, launch my poles into the water. That would be bad. All right, I just went ahead and cut up my anchor line because my anchor trolley line is a lot nicer. I need to replace that anchor line anyways. So that should hold it there until I get it back. I definitely need to straighten it because I think it's putting a lot of pressure on those pins in there. Although there's a steel rod that goes down into it. So, but yeah, still need that to be straight. But I'm going to go in closer, but I think as long as that is holding up, I'm still going to putter around and try to get another hour or two of motor life and keep breaking this guy in before I tear it apart. Yeah, this thing pushes water so easily. Pretty much effortlessly. Maybe quarter throttle. We're just cruising along. This thing's just purring. If only you were 10 pounds lighter. Well, change of plans. I was thinking about it. I want to do a reef or offshore run tomorrow, so I need to have that motor mount fixed. I'm still going to use the 2.5 horsepower and start the videos on rebuilding this guy. So I need to get that motor mount fixed today if I want to use this kayak tomorrow. My other motor, my other kayak doesn't have my electronics for fish finder GPS, so I kind of need this one. So I'm going to head home, work on that because I got to do a few Home Depot runs and then get ready for tomorrow. All right, let's get this guy off and get that motor mount repaired. There, you can see how much it's angled back. That's not good. All right, let's get working on this guy. Needs to be straight, so I got to take this apart. All right, let's get this motor mount off. I just need to take the rope off. This one's already broken, but I do need to unscrew it and bolt that one, and it just slides right out. With a little PB blast, because corrosion sucks. Let's see if I can get this apart. All right, took those two mounts off, so now it just basically just slides up and out, just like that. And these are where I need to put those rubber plugs, so it'll give me probably about a ½ an inch, and that'll push it back up and get these back to perpendicular. So let me measure those and go down to Home Depot, and I think I could just pull these out of another slot unless these are all broken. No, these are good, so I'll just replace this one with one of those since I don't use the back ones. Now to remove these pad eyes, there's a special tool you can get from Hobie, but I could just use a needle nose. You can see the little slot there and a little slot there. Just put the nose of the pliers in there. and then just use down tension and twist it, and it'll come off. Like that, and just twist, and it'll come right out. And just put them, screw them back in. I don't even use the tool, I just use my hand because they're plastic and they're cheap. It's like that. And then once I install this, I'll get the right angle that I need. So probably right about there. And that's done. All right, so all I need to do is pick up some straps. That's gonna loop around the motor mount there and there. And then get the bar stool end caps for this. So I'm gonna measure that and then head on down to Home Depot. All right, back from Home Depot, we got the rubber leg tips. That's gonna be for the mount there, and then some lashing straps. So hopefully those will work. So let's see if that'll do it. All right, so these caps just fit in the hole there. Whack. And then hopefully that spacing will get me vertical. So let's reinstall it. Be straight. There we go. All right, they're in flush, and then we're in perpendicular, so that's good. All right, that'll fix it. Let's see if I can just strap this down. We're good to go. All right, put my braces back on there with the new plastic clip there. Now let me get the straps on. All right, I think that'll work. It's primarily just this side that I need to keep down because the weight's over there. That's always tilting this way. Shouldn't take too much, but I've doubled up the straps there. That should do it. So I'll go ahead and trim these down, and yeah, that should do it. Saltwater corrosion will lock these up so they won't be able to be taken off. And the feet and the straps, $14 so far, so that should resolve my problems. And that's the final product there. Trim down these, just tied it off there just so it won't help it prevent it from slipping, and we're good to go. And this is the new motor. I just did the 20-hour service, which is basically just changing the oil and then verifying that the lower end fill level is correct. So this is what we'll take out tomorrow. All right, so this motor I'm going to be tearing down. I want to replace the head. The other head that's on there that I'm using right now had a bunch of divots from ignition, I guess, and it's just all pock marks. So I want to put this one, which I just rebuilt, got new valves, new springs, retainers, surfaced it, I had to replace the one exhaust side valve guide because this one had a bent valve in it, and I had to bust the valve guide in order to get the valve out. But this guy is totally water tested. I made sure that it's totally sealed, and so I'm going to be doing a swap out here, and because of that I'm going to do a video about step-by-step process of tearing the power head down and out in order to replace the head, since the heads are a common issue with these Suzukis. I'm also going to do a separate video about rebuilding the carburetor, taking off the starter, adjusting the valves, and then, like I said, the head replacement. And then later on, if I ever run down into problems, I'll do the lower end stuff as well, water pump. So just a full series. I've done the head already, a video about it, but I want to do the total breakdown of this motor first. Then I'll release the individual, how to rebuild a head, how to rebuild the carburetor, starter, coil, and all that other stuff. All right, we're all set. The kayak's all loaded, all my gear's in the car ready to go. Only thing I have to do now is figure out what type of fishing I'm going to do tomorrow, then load up the specific equipment for that. Looking at the weather, today was definitely the offshore day in the evening. Tomorrow evening it starts getting a bit blowy in the evening, so I was taking a look at Wednesday is definitely the better day to do a reef offshore trip. So I think tomorrow I am just going to go hit the bridge, do an early trip, get it back early, so then I could go in and prep for Wednesday, which will be either anchor up on the reef and chum, maybe do some fishing along the edge of the reef for possibly like kings, Big Macs, that kind of stuff, or make the far run and then go offshore. So Tuesday I'll determine that when I get back, and then figure out what the winds are going to let me do and what's going to be the best options. But anyways, there you go. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.